the earth is about to shake. Two absolute titans are on a collision course that could redefine what it means to be a dominant force in professional wrestling. When Triple H looks into the camera and says there's only one man in WWE history that reminds him of a young Brock Lesnar, you know something earth-shattering is coming. When the boss himself compares a 26-year-old powerhouse from Lagos, Nigeria to the most destructive force WWE has ever seen, you better believe the wrestling world stops and pays attention. Oba Femi versus Brock Lesnar. The ruler versus the beast incarnate. The future versus the legend. A clash so massive, so intense, so absolutely brutal that it might just break the ring itself. And if you think I'm exaggerating, if you think this is just hype, stick with me because by the end of this video, you're going to understand why this dream match isn't just possible, it's inevitable. And when it happens, it's going to change everything. The stage has been set, the seeds have been planted, and the wrestling world is buzzing with anticipation for a collision that feels like destiny itself. Because right now, in December 2024, we're watching something special unfold before our very eyes. Oba Femi just stepped onto the main roster stage at Saturday night's main event, standing toe-to-toe with Cody Rhodes in a champion versus champion match that had the entire arena on the edge of their seats. This wasn't some developmental guy getting his feet wet. This was a statement. This was NXT's absolute best announcing to the world that he belongs in the conversation with the elite. And even though the match ended in chaos thanks to Drew McIntyre's interference, the message was crystal clear. Oba Femi is ready. But here's where the story gets absolutely insane. After that match, after Oba showed the world what he's capable of, Triple H himself addressed the media and dropped a bomb that sent shockwaves through the entire wrestling community. The Game, the man who's seen it all, who's wrestled with legends and built careers, looked directly into the camera and said that the comparisons between Oba Femi and Brock Lesnar are legitimate. Not just surface-level similarities. Not just because they're both big and powerful, but because Oba Femi possesses that same rare combination of size, athleticism, intensity, and sheer dominance that made Brock Lesnar the most feared wrestler of his generation. Think about what that means for a second. Triple H doesn't throw around comparisons lightly. This is the man who's worked with The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Shawn Michaels, and every legend you can imagine. And when he says that Oba Femi reminds him of a young Brock Lesnar, he's not talking about potential. He's talking about reality. He's talking about witnessing the same aura, the same presence, the same ability to make you believe that this person could physically dominate anyone who steps in front of them. And then Triple H went even further. He called Brock Lesnar the ultimate destroyer in the business. Those were his exact words. The ultimate destroyer. Not one of the best. Not a great big man. The ultimate. And when you attach that label to someone and then compare a rising star to them, you're essentially telling the world that lightning is about to strike twice. You're saying that history is about to repeat itself in the most spectacular way possible. Now, let me paint you a picture of exactly who these two men are, because to truly understand why this dream match is so monumental, you need to know what each of them represents. Let's start with Brock Lesnar, the beast incarnate, the conqueror, the man who broke The Undertaker's WrestleMania streak, the guy who became the youngest WWE champion in history at 25 years old, the freak of nature who didn't just dominate professional wrestling but conquered the UFC as well, becoming heavyweight champion there too. Brock Lesnar isn't just a wrestler. He's a legitimate athlete with credentials that read like a video game character. NCAA Division I heavyweight champion with a record of 106 wins and only 5 losses in college. Think about that dominance. He walked into WWE in 2002 and within 6 months, he was standing at the top of the mountain with the WWE Championship around his waist. 6 months. Most wrestlers spend years, even decades trying to reach that level, and Brock did it in half a year because he's simply that good. He's that dominant. He's that much of a physical specimen that no one could stop him. Over the years, Brock Lesnar has destroyed everyone. Kurt Angle? Dominated. John Cena? Repeatedly crushed. Roman Reigns? Manhandled in multiple WrestleMania main events. The Undertaker? Ended his legendary streak. Goldberg? Demolished him in record time. CM Punk? Made him look like a child. Seth Rollins? Broken and battered. There is no one, and I mean no one, who has been able to consistently stand up to Brock Lesnar when he's in full beast mode. He suplexes people into oblivion. He hits F5s that look like they're sending souls directly to the afterlife. And he does it all with this terrifying smile that lets you know he's genuinely enjoying the destruction he's causing. Now, here's where things get really interesting. Enter Oba Femi. Born Isaac Odugbeson in Lagos, Nigeria on April 22, 1998. Just 26 years old but already carrying himself like a veteran who's conquered the world. Before wrestling, Oba Femi was a track and field star who specialized in shot put. He competed at Middle Tennessee State University where he became Conference USA Freshman of the Year. Then he transferred to the University of Alabama where he won multiple SEC championships in shot put. This isn't some guy who decided to try wrestling on a whim. This is a legitimate world-class athlete who chose to bring his power and athleticism to the squared circle. WWE signed him in December 2021 through their NIL program, which is designed to recruit elite college athletes and turn them into superstars. And boy, did they hit the jackpot with Oba Femi. He made his debut in late 2022, and from the moment he stepped into the ring, it was obvious that something was different about him. He moved like someone who had been wrestling for 10 years. He carried himself with the confidence of a champion. And most importantly, he had that IT factor that you can't teach. That presence that makes you stop scrolling, put down your phone, and pay attention because you know you're watching something special. In 2023, Oba won the NXT Breakout Tournament, earning himself a championship opportunity. And what did he do with that opportunity? He cashed it in the very next week after Dragon Lee had just successfully defended the NXT North American Championship in a grueling battle. Femi's music hit. The crowd went silent. Dragon Lee, exhausted and battered, turned around to see this mountain of a man walking toward the ring with purpose. And in less than 2 minutes, Oba Femi destroyed Dragon Lee and became the NXT North American Champion. 2 minutes. That's all it took for him to announce to the entire wrestling world that a new force had arrived. But the dominance didn't stop there. Oh no. Oba Femi went on to hold the North American Championship for 273 days. Let that sink in. 273 days of complete and total domination. He defeated every single challenger put in front of him. Did Jack? Destroyed. Josh Briggs? Demolished. Wes Lee? Crushed. Tony D'Angelo? Dominated. Match after match, Femi proved that he wasn't just a flash in the pan. He was the real deal. He set the record for the longest NXT North American Championship reign in history, surpassing names like Johnny Gargano and Wes Lee. And here's what makes Oba Femi so terrifying. He's not just big. He's not just strong. He's athletic. At 6'6" and 310 pounds, this man moves like someone who's 220 pounds. He hits running crossbodies that shouldn't be physically possible for someone his size. He executes perfect powerbombs with ease. His signature move, which he calls Fall from Grace, is a sitting powerbomb that looks like it's driving his opponents through the center of the earth. And when he stands in the ring, arms raised, staring down at the destruction he's caused, you can feel the presence radiating from him. You know who else had that kind of presence? Brock Lesnar. You know who else was an elite athlete before becoming a wrestler? Brock Lesnar. You know who else won championships within months of their debut and made it look easy? Brock Lesnar. The parallels are undeniable. The similarities are striking, and that's exactly why Triple H made the comparison. That's exactly why the wrestling world is buzzing about the possibility of these two monsters colliding. Now, I want you to imagine something with me. Close your eyes for a second and picture this. WrestleMania. The biggest stage of them all. Over 70,000 fans packed into a massive stadium. The lights dim. The crowd roars. And then, Paul Heyman's voice cuts through the noise. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman, and I am the advocate for the reigning, defending, undisputed beast incarnate, Brock Lesnar. The place erupts. Brock's music hits. The pyro explodes. And out walks the most dominant force in WWE history, ready for war. But then, the music cuts. Silence. And suddenly, a new theme song fills the arena. Oba Femi's music. The crowd loses their minds because they know what's about to happen. The ruler, the NXT champion, the man who has destroyed everyone in his path, steps onto the stage. He's 6'6" of pure Nigerian dominance, 310 pounds of destruction, and he locks eyes with Brock Lesnar from across the ring. Two alphas, two destroyers, two men who refuse to back down from anyone. Before we go any further, I need you to do something for me right now. If this vision is getting you hyped, if you're feeling the electricity of what this match could be, hit that like button. Smash it. Let me know you're invested in this story. And if you haven't already, subscribe to SLAMZONE and turn on that notification bell because this channel is your home for the most in-depth, most passionate wrestling breakdowns on YouTube. We're a family here, and I don't want you to miss a single moment of what's coming. Trust me, you're going to want to be part of this journey. So hit subscribe, join the SLAMZONE family, and let's continue. The referee checks both men. The bell rings, and the stare-down begins. Neither man moves. Neither man blinks. The tension in the arena is so thick you could cut it with a knife. 70,000 people are on their feet, absolutely silent, because they're witnessing two forces of nature preparing to collide. And then, finally, they step toward each other. Face to face. Eye to eye. Both men know that this isn't just another match. This is a fight for supremacy. This is about proving who is the most dominant force in all of professional wrestling. Brock smirks. That familiar cocky grin that has preceded the destruction of so many legends. But Oba doesn't flinch. He stands tall, staring right back at the beast with zero fear in his eyes. And that's when you realize something incredible. Oba Femi isn't intimidated by Brock Lesnar. He believes he can beat him. He knows he belongs in this moment. And that confidence, that unshakable self-belief, is exactly what makes him so dangerous. The crowd starts chanting, "Let's go Lesnar! Let's go Oba!" Back and forth. The energy is insane. And then, Brock makes the first move. He shoves Oba backward. Hard. Testing him. Seeing if this young lion has the courage to fight back. Oba stumbles back a step, looks down at his chest where Brock pushed him, and then slowly raises his head with fire in his eyes. He steps forward and shoves Brock right back. The crowd explodes. It's on. They lock up in the center of the ring, collar and elbow tie up. Both men pushing with everything they have, trying to gain the advantage. Brock muscles Oba into the corner. The referee counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Brock releases and then slaps Oba across the chest with a thunderous chop that echoes through the entire stadium. The crowd winces. That had to hurt. But Oba just smiles. He smiles. And then he fires back with a chop of his own that sounds like a gunshot. Brock's chest turns bright red instantly. This is where legends are made, people. This is where careers are defined. Two absolute powerhouses trading shots, neither one willing to give an inch. They lock up again. This time Oba uses his leverage to drive Brock into the opposite corner. The referee counts. Oba backs off, and as Brock steps forward, Oba hits him with a shoulder tackle that actually staggers the beast. The crowd can't believe it. Brock Lesnar just got moved by Oba Femi. Brock looks shocked. He touches his chest, looks at Oba, and you can see the respect starting to form in his eyes. This kid is for real. They circle each other again. Brock shoots in for a takedown. He gets Oba to the mat. But Oba powers out immediately, showing that his strength is every bit as legitimate as Brock's. They roll. They grapple. They fight for position like two lions battling for dominance over the pride. Finally, Brock transitions into a rear waist lock and German suplexes Oba halfway across the ring. Boom! Oba's back crashes into the canvas with devastating force. The crowd gasps. That's the move that has ended so many matches. That's Suplex City. But Oba gets up. He's holding his back, clearly feeling the impact, but he's on his feet. Brock can't believe it. Most people stay down after one German suplex from the beast, but not Oba Femi. Brock charges in and hits another German suplex. Then another. Then another. 3 consecutive German suplexes, each one more vicious than the last. Oba's body is being thrown around like a rag doll, and you can feel the concern building in the arena. This is Brock's specialty. This is how he breaks people. Oba is down. Brock stalks around him like a predator circling wounded prey. He's pointing at Oba, talking trash, telling the crowd that this is what happens when you step up to the beast. He signals for the F5. This could be it. The end. Brock reaches down, pulls Oba up, hoists him onto his shoulders in the F5 position. The crowd is on their feet. This is the move that has ended the careers of legends. Brock spins. But wait. Oba slides off. He lands on his feet behind Brock. And before the beast can turn around, Oba grabs him and hits a massive release German suplex of his own, throwing Brock across the ring. The place is unglued. Did we just see Oba Femi German suplex Brock Lesnar? Did that actually just happen? Brock pulls himself up using the ropes, and for the first time in this match, you can see genuine surprise on his face. Nobody does that to him. Nobody matches his power. But Oba Femi just did. The momentum is shifting. The narrative is changing. And suddenly, everyone in that arena is starting to believe that Oba might actually have a chance. Oba charges at Brock and hits a running shoulder block that sends the beast tumbling out of the ring to the floor. Brock lands hard on the outside, and the crowd is chanting Oba. 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 You can feel the energy. This is one of those rare moments where a star is being born right before your eyes. Oba doesn't wait. He rolls out of the ring, grabs Brock, and whips him into the steel steps. Crash. The steps explode on impact. Brock is in trouble. Real trouble. Oba rolls Brock back into the ring. He climbs onto the apron. He's setting up for something big. Brock slowly gets to his feet, dazed and hurt. Oba launches himself over the top rope with a flying shoulder tackle. But Brock catches him mid-air and immediately transitions into an F5 position. No way. The athleticism. The instinct. The ring awareness. Brock is about to steal this victory. He spins and drives Oba down with the F5. The impact shakes the ring. Brock hooks the leg. The referee slides into position. 1, 2. Oba kicks out. The referee holds up 2 fingers. The crowd is losing their minds. Oba Femi just kicked out of the F5. The move that has pinned John Cena, The Undertaker, CM Punk, and countless others. Brock sits up in shock. His eyes are wide. He can't process what just happened. Paul Heyman on the outside is screaming, his hands on his head in disbelief. This wasn't supposed to happen. Nobody kicks out of the F5. But Oba Femi just did. Brock gets up. He's furious now. The playfulness is gone. The respect is gone. Now it's just pure rage. He pulls Oba up and hits another F5. This time with even more force. He doesn't go for the pin. Instead, he pulls Oba up again. He wants to destroy him. He wants to make an example out of him. He hoists Oba up for a third F5. But as he spins, Oba counters mid-move, sliding down Brock's back and hitting a devastating powerbomb that plants the beast in the center of the ring. Both men are down. The referee starts counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The crowd is clapping, stomping, trying to will both men back to their feet. This has been an absolute war. 6, 7. Oba starts stirring. 8. Brock is moving. 9. Both men pull themselves up using the ropes. They turn to face each other. Exhausted. Battered. But neither one willing to quit. They meet in the center of the ring and start trading punches. Right hand from Brock. Right hand from Oba. Back and forth. The crowd is chanting with every strike. The intensity is unreal. Finally, Oba gets the advantage, hitting a series of strikes that back Brock into the corner. He whips Brock across the ring. Brock hits the turnbuckles hard. Oba charges in with a running splash, but Brock moves at the last second. Oba crashes chest first into the turnbuckles. Brock immediately grabs him from behind. German suplex, but Oba lands on his feet. Again, Brock turns around in shock. How is this possible? Oba is showing the same freakish athleticism that made Brock famous. Before the Beast can react, Oba kicks him in the gut, hooks both arms, and hits a devastating double underhook powerbomb. Brock is planted. Oba falls on top for the cover. The referee counts. 1, 2. Brock kicks out. Just barely. His shoulder comes up at the last possible millisecond. But the message is clear. This match could go either way. Oba sits up, breathing heavily, and you can see it in his eyes. He knows he's in the fight of his life. But he also knows he's right there. Victory is within reach. He just needs one more big move. Oba signals for fall from grace. His finishing move. The sitting powerbomb that has ended so many matches in NXT. The crowd is on their feet. This is it. Brock slowly gets up, stumbling, barely able to stand. Oba grabs him, hooks him, lifts him up onto his shoulders. But Brock fights. He throws elbows into the side of Oba's head. 1, 2, 3, 4 brutal shots. Oba's grip weakens. Brock slides down, lands on his feet, and immediately hits a German suplex with a bridge for the pin. 1, 2, Oba kicks out again. These two warriors refuse to stay down. The referee is exhausted just watching them. The crowd is absolutely electric. Every near fall feels like the end. Every big move feels like it could be the moment. This is wrestling at its absolute finest. This is two generational talents putting on a classic that will be talked about for decades. Both men are on their knees now, facing each other in the center of the ring. They're too tired to stand, too exhausted to mount a full offense. But the fire still burns in their eyes. They start slapping each other. Not wrestling moves, just pure aggression, disrespect, testing each other's will. The crowd is going insane. Finally, both men use each other to pull themselves to their feet. They're standing, foreheads pressed together, both refusing to back down. Oba headbutts Brock. Brock headbutts back. They separate, staggering. Oba charges. Brock catches him and goes for another F5. But Oba counters in midair, landing behind Brock and immediately hitting a massive lariat that turns the Beast inside out. Brock does a complete flip from the impact and lands in a heap. Oba falls on top of him, hooks the leg. 1, 2, THR no. Brock's foot is on the rope. The referee sees it at the last second and waves off the count. Oba can't believe it. He was a split second away from making history, from defeating the Beast incarnate, from proving to the world that he truly is the next generation of dominance. But Brock's veteran instinct, his ring awareness, saved him. The crowd is giving both men a standing ovation. Win or lose, they're witnessing something special. Oba drags Brock away from the ropes. He's going for fall from grace again. This time, there's no escape. He lifts Brock up onto his shoulders. The crowd is chanting "This is awesome" over and over. Oba positions Brock perfectly. And then, he drives him down. Fall from grace. The sitting powerbomb connects with devastating force. Brock's body compresses on impact. Oba keeps his hands clasped, holding Brock's shoulders down. The referee counts. 1, 2, 3. The referee calls for the bell. Oba Femi has just defeated Brock Lesnar. The crowd explodes into the loudest roar you've ever heard. Oba Femi releases Brock and falls backward in exhaustion. He can't believe it. The referee raises his hand in victory. Tears are streaming down Oba's face because he knows what he just accomplished. He didn't just win a match. He didn't just beat a legend. He announced to the entire wrestling world that the torch has been passed, that a new era has begun, that Oba Femi is the future. Before you process what you just witnessed, I need you to do something for me. Share this video. Send it to every wrestling fan you know. Post it on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere. Because this is the match we need to see. This is the story that must be told. And the more people who understand what Oba Femi versus Brock Lesnar could mean for the future of wrestling, the better chance we have of actually making it happen. So please, share this video. Spread the word. Let's make SLAMZONE the place where wrestling dreams become reality. Now, let's talk about what this dream match would actually mean for professional wrestling, because it's bigger than just one match. This is about legacy. This is about passing the torch from one generation to the next in the most meaningful way possible. Brock Lesnar has spent over 2 decades establishing himself as the most dominant force in WWE history. He's the measuring stick. He's the final boss. He's the guy who everyone wants to beat because defeating him means you've officially arrived at the top of the mountain. And Oba Femi? He's the future. He's the guy who has all the tools to be the next big thing. He has the size, the strength, the athleticism, the charisma, and most importantly, the believability. When Oba Femi stands across from someone in the ring, you believe he can hurt them. You believe he's dangerous. You believe he's special. That's not something you can teach. That's not something you can fake. You either have it or you don't. And Oba Femi has it in spades. A match between these two would do several things for WWE and for wrestling as a whole. First, it would give Brock Lesnar one final legendary opponent to face before he potentially retires. We know Brock's time in wrestling is limited. He's not going to wrestle forever. And when he does hang up his boots, he deserves to go out in a match that means something. Not a throwaway bout. Not a glorified squash match. But a passing of the torch moment where he puts over the next generation in spectacular fashion. Second, it would launch Oba Femi into the stratosphere. Right now, he's an NXT star with main roster appearances. He's respected. He's talented. But he hasn't had that moment yet. That career-defining win that makes everyone sit up and say, oh, this guy is going to be a megastar. Defeating Brock Lesnar clean in the middle of the ring would be that moment. It would instantly elevate Oba to the same level as Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, and the top guys on the roster. It would make him a made man overnight. Third, and perhaps most importantly, it would create a new standard for what a dominant wrestler looks like in WWE. For 20 years, Brock Lesnar has been that standard. When someone was pushed as a monster, they were compared to Brock. When someone showed incredible athleticism for their size, they were compared to Brock. When someone had that it factor, they were compared to Brock. But if Oba Femi defeats Brock Lesnar, he becomes the new standard. He becomes the guy that future stars are compared to. And that's how you build the next era of wrestling. The beauty of this potential match is that it doesn't diminish Brock Lesnar's legacy in any way. In fact, it enhances it. Because Brock would be doing what all true legends do. He'd be recognizing greatness in the next generation and helping to elevate it. That's what The Rock did for John Cena. That's what Stone Cold did for The Rock. That's what Hulk Hogan did for The Rock and Stone Cold. Legends don't become legends just because of what they accomplish. They become legends because of who they help create. And let's be real about something. The comparisons between Oba Femi and Brock Lesnar aren't just about physical attributes. Yes, they're both massive. Yes, they're both freakishly athletic. But it's deeper than that. It's about presence. It's about the ability to command attention the second you walk into a room. It's about making people believe that you're the baddest person on the planet. Both men have that quality. When Brock Lesnar walks to the ring, you feel it in your chest. The intimidation factor is off the charts. And when Oba Femi walks to the ring with that confident stride, arms spread wide, staring down at his opponent with absolute certainty that he's about to dominate them, you feel the exact same thing. That's rare. That's special. That's why Triple H made the comparison in the first place. Now, I want to be clear about something. This match hasn't been officially announced. WWE hasn't confirmed it's happening. But all the pieces are in place. Oba Femi just had his main roster debut at a premium live event. Triple H publicly compared him to Brock Lesnar. The wrestling world is buzzing about the possibility. And most importantly, Brock Lesnar appears to be on one final run before potentially retiring. All the ingredients are there. It's just a matter of WWE pulling the trigger and giving us the match we all desperately want to see. And here's what makes me so confident that this match will happen eventually. WWE knows how to build stars. They know how to create moments. And they know that in order for Oba Femi to reach his full potential, he needs to defeat someone who carries massive credibility. Someone who the audience respects and fears. There's no one in wrestling who fits the description better than Brock Lesnar. No one. Comment below right now and tell me where you think this match should happen. Royal Rumble? WrestleMania? SummerSlam? What would be the perfect stage for this collision? I want to hear your thoughts. I want to know how you would book this match. Because we're a family here at SlamZone, and your voice matters. So drop a comment, let's start a conversation, and let's show WWE that the fans want this match to happen. As we approach the end of this video, I want you to think about the bigger picture here. Wrestling is at its best when there's a clear lineage of greatness. When you can draw a line from one generation to the next and see how the torch was passed. Bruno Sammartino to Bob Backlund to Hulk Hogan to Bret Hart to Stone Cold to The Rock to John Cena to Roman Reigns. That's the lineage of WWE. That's the bloodline of greatness that has carried this company for decades. And now we're potentially witnessing the next chapter in that story. Brock Lesnar to Oba Femi, the beast incarnate passing the torch to the ruler. It would be poetic. It would be powerful. And it would be exactly what wrestling needs right now. Because at the end of the day, wrestling is about creating new stars. It's about making the audience believe in the next generation. It's about giving young talent the platform to show the world what they're capable of. Oba Femi has already proven he can hang with the best. He's dominated NXT for over a year. He's set records. He's had incredible matches. And now he's getting opportunities on the main roster. But to truly become a legend, he needs that signature win. That WrestleMania moment. That career-defining match that people will talk about for the rest of time. And beating Brock Lesnar would be exactly that. Imagine the video packages leading up to the match. They'd show Brock's journey from amateur wrestling phenom to WWE champion to UFC champion and back to WWE as an unstoppable force. They'd show Oba's rise from Nigerian shot put champion to NXT star to main roster threat. They'd highlight the parallels in their stories, the similarities in their dominance. And they'd build the anticipation to a fever pitch until finally, these two titans collide. The match itself would be a masterclass in power wrestling. No crazy high spots. No unnecessary gimmicks. Just two absolute monsters hitting each other with everything they've got. German suplexes, power bombs, shoulder tackles, devastating strikes, near falls that make you jump out of your seat, and a finish that feels earned, believable, and emotionally satisfying. That's the match we need. That's the match we deserve. And when it's over, when the final bell rings and Oba Femi's music hits while he stands victorious in the center of the ring, the wrestling world will know that a new era has officially begun. The era of the ruler. And it will have started by conquering the beast. So here's what I need from you right now. If you want to see this match happen, if you believe in Oba Femi, if you think Brock Lesnar deserves one more legendary opponent before he rides off into the sunset, do 3 things for me. Number 1, hit that subscribe button and join the SLAMZONE family. Number 2, smash that like button so this video reaches as many wrestling fans as possible. And number 3, share this video everywhere. Tweet it at Triple H, at WWE, at Brock Lesnar, at Oba Femi. Let them know that this is the match we want. Let them know that this is the story that needs to be told. Wrestling is at its best when we, the fans, make our voices heard, when we rally behind the matches and the stories that excite us. And Oba Femi vs. Brock Lesnar excites me more than almost any other match WWE could book right now. Because it has everything. It has the athleticism. It has the storytelling. It has the emotional weight. It has the potential to create a brand new superstar while giving a legend the perfect final opponent. So let's make some noise. Let's show WWE that SLAMZONE is leading the charge in demanding this dream match. Let's create a movement that's impossible to ignore. Because when this match finally happens, and I believe it will happen, we'll all be able to look back and say we were part of making it a reality. We'll be able to say that our passion, our excitement, and our voices helped create one of the greatest matches in WWE history. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being part of this journey. Thank you for believing in the power of dream matches and the magic of professional wrestling. This is SLAMZONE, and remember, the future of wrestling is being written right now. And Oba Femi is holding the pen. Until next time, keep the faith, keep the passion, and keep believing in the power of this incredible business we all love. The ruler is coming. The beast is waiting. And when they finally collide, the earth itself will shake.